Welcome to DC Music Rocks. The Washington, D.C. region has one of the best local music scenes in the country. We're shining a spotlight on its great songs and incredible people. Tune in, jam on, rock out. I'm your host, Brian Nelson Palmer, and with me today is Del Florida. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Or I said Florida because I'm from Florida and there's pronunciation. It's Del Florida, yes?
Del Florida, yeah.
Del Florida, got it. And if they've never heard of you, how would you describe yourselves?
We're definitely like an R&B kind of soul-based band with like some progressive pop influences.
Ooh, it's like a delicious combination of really fun things.
Yes.
And if they've never heard your music, what are 3 big name artists that they might have heard of that you've been compared to?
Hiatus Coyote.
Yeah, definitely Hiatus, The Reign of Kindo, a little bit of Ariana Grande.
Nice. Okay. Well, this is going to be fun. On our show today, we'll start with some news from the DC music scene. Then we have great music by DC artists to share with you. And of course, a very special interview with Del Florida. 3 quick reminders as we get started. 1, subscribe to the DC Music Rocks podcast. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button in your podcast app. And please don't be afraid of that commitment. Let's make this relationship official. 2, tell a friend who loves music about us. Every one of our thousands of followers found us exactly that way. So please do. We appreciate it. And 3, sign up for the email list. Every week we're finding and sharing all these shows, this news, these guests, and this great music. Let us email it to you so you don't have to go looking for it. Now, let's jump into the news. First up is new releases. So remember, these are available right now wherever you get your music online. And in the episode notes, you can link, there's links to their profile in our DC Artist database that has their iTunes and Spotify links so you can listen to the music, and then their website and Facebook to find out more info about these artists. Music-wise, new releases. Jay Alexander released the R&B single Play Fair. Loving this track this week. He's recommended if you like T-Pain or Usher, you might like Jay Alexander. And then second is Kat Janis released Favorite Fight, which is a kind of a rock style single. She's recommended if you like Amy Winehouse, Duffy, or Norah Jones, you might love Kat Janis. And as far as videos go, Ben Coolin released a video to their song Remember. It's kind of a live studio session music video. It's got multi-cameras. It's a jammin' track. The link's in your episode notes. Check that out. Billy Wynn and B. Ames released WDHS. It's a dance, the dancing. You gotta watch this video for the dancing because these fellas, they get it. Like on it. Oh, it's so good. So the link's in your episode notes. Check out the Billy Wynn video. And then, of course, Taylor Carson released Josephine, which I don't know if you have any friends that have the name Josephine, they should hear this song and they should see this video. The link's there. You can share it with them. It's a great track and it even includes footage of the kids. Like it's almost a family vibe. I really enjoyed that video. So check that one out. Now, as far as new releases go from Del Florida, what's been happening musically for you in the past and what's coming up in the future? Talk to us.
We just released, well, I guess not just, but a couple months ago, we released our most recent single, which is Dreamin' Again,
nice.
Which is going to be a part of the next album that's coming out this year. And we've got one more single before the album comes out, so that'll be exciting.
Oh my gosh. And when are we talking like early 2019, late 2019? What are you thinking?
Not entirely sure yet. We don't want to say.
Okay. You don't want to lock yourself in. I got it. No, expectations are terrible things. Okay. I got it. That's good. And then the last news update is, what concerts are you going to see this week? Research shows that it reduces stress and it makes you happy. And in your episode notes right now, you can find the link to our local music calendar, which is the only place online you can find exclusively where DC's own talent in a 50-mile driving radius around DC is playing. So the link's there in your episode notes. And talk about shows coming up for Del Florida. Where are you guys going to be? When? What's on the horizon for you guys?
Let's see. We're playing at U Street Music Hall with Ripe on the 6th.
So nice. 6th of what month?
This month.
No, next month. So it'll be
February.
a week from Wednesday.
February 6th.
It's still January.
Okay.
6th, yeah.
January
That's
is,
right. And we
so
don't know
close to over.
And we don't know when they're going to hear this either. So February 6th, they'll be at U Street Music Hall. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And what else? Any other shows on the horizon?
Yeah, we've got tons. Let's see. We're doing a couple Annapolis shows in March. We've got another one in February on the 9th. What city is that in?
That's a great question.
This is hashtag touring problems. What city is that in again? I go,
No, we've got a bunch coming up. Yeah.
Where's the list of those? If they want to find out where you guys are playing, where does that list live?
You can go to www.delflorida.com/tour.
Got it. Okay. /tour. Check it out. DelFlorida.com. That's a good one. And now we've been talking for a little bit, so I just want to jump into some music here. So first up, I have, well, there's a band that I've been excited to share with you guys. I love the fact that I get to share artists that I've never shared with you before every single week. And here's another one. This is Higher Numbers. And this is a track called I Know Your Name.
DC Music Rocks. Great jams to hear by artists from here.
The Higher Numbers, and the track is I Know Your Name. That's off their EP that they released called The Road, and I've really been enjoying The Higher Numbers. These guys are from Northwest DC. They're recommended if you like Audioslave, Alanis Morissette, Grace Potter, Soundgarden, or The Who. You might love those guys. And the story behind their name, Higher Numbers, The Who wrestled with several different names before they came up with The Who, and one of the names on their early bills was High Numbers, and they didn't end up using it, obviously, so they did the spin-off, and that's Higher Numbers. So a little bit of Who trivia for you right there. It's High Numbers was a interesting name for The Who back in the day. And these guys, they play all over the place. Next time they're February 22nd, they're going to be at the Pie Shop. So if you want to check them out on H Street, that's a fun venue. If you've never been to the Pie Shop, check out that one with the Cassidy concoction and sauce. That's going to be a good show. And of course, there's so much more. So if you go to the DC Artist database on the website or in your episode notes, just click the name, click the band name. It'll take you right to their profile. So you can find out more from these guys and link to their music and that kind of stuff. So I hope you check out more from Higher Numbers because great things coming from those guys. Now I've got Del Florida with me, and my favorite way to introduce you to my guest, my musical guest, is to play their music. So let's start with that right now. This is Del Florida, and the track is Dreamin' Again.
DC Music rocks.
There it is. The song is Dreamin' Again, and that's Del Florida. And that's the single you released. When was that? That was 2018 that
Yes,
one came out?
that was 2018.
Excellent. And what is the song Dreamin' Again? What is that one about?
That one's just kind of about things that you wish weren't really happening and kind of wish were more of a dream, but they're unfortunately reality.
Really? Like, so what is there that comes from somebody's life? Did you write that about an event that happened? Where does that come from? Or just in general?
I mean, in general, like we definitely write stuff that's from very personal experiences. So, yeah, it's very cathartic to write those kind of songs.
Nice. So nobody was dreaming or wishing they were dreaming for that one. It was more of just a general story idea.
Yeah,
I guess?
that was more of just a general story.
Got it. Okay. Well, so let me give you a proper introduction here. So, on DC Music Rocks, we're shining a spotlight on the great songs, artists, and incredible people behind the DC region's music scene. Del Florida is a neo-soul tinged dream pop outfit based in Washington, D.C., and fronted by vocalist and multi-instrumentalist Leela, how do you say it? Leela Dawson. Formed in Liverpool in the UK, Del Florida cut their teeth in local club scene and supported up-and-coming acts such as Montreal Melancholy, indie rock group Tops, and San Diego noise pop duo Crocodiles. But after wearing out her student visa, Leela came back to DC and keep doing what she was doing best, which is bringing everyone into Del Florida's world. Now, when you say Del Florida's world, what does that mean?
I mean, I definitely like to make sure that we always put on a performance and make sure that people come out of it and view it as an experience and an act more than just, we went to see a band.
So taking you to Disneyland, taking you to Florida.
There it is. Speaking of which, talk about now that the name Del Florida, where does that, tell me the story. Where does that come from?
Well, the first band that, my first band, I started down in Florida. And then whenever I moved over to the UK, I wanted to kind of have a rebirth of that band, but I wanted to call it something that represented Florida. So Del is like,
Del
of Florida.
There you go. For the Hispanic speakers out there,
Yeah.
it's of Florida. And so you came from Florida?
I mean, I'm from DC, but we were living in
Met
Florida.
there. I met her there in Gainesville, and I was in a band, and she joined that band, and then I've got to talk about. I've been slighted here, Brian. You've given me.
They can't
I've
hear
got to, for the people listening. He's given me a microphone with the arm. It's kind of awkward, so I'm kind of like pressed in here. I'm trying not to get
right in
everyone's
there.
way.
It's good, man. No
But,
worries.
You can hear me.
No worries.
Right?
Florida.
Hello. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now,
I'm not from there, but yeah, go ahead.
and while we're at it, why don't you guys introduce yourselves and say what you do in the band, names and what you do?
I'm Leela. I'm the lead singer, songwriter, and I play keys. And yeah,
Yep.
I play the guitar. My name is James.
he also helps write.
I'm Thomas, and I play the bass.
Nice. And there is how many pieces? There's 4 in the band?
There's five.
Five. And so the other 2 that we're missing, what are their names? What do they play?
Jordan Stanley is on drums and percussion, and then Sam Pugh is on guitar and vocals.
Nice. And what part of the DC region are we connected to?
We do a lot of shows like down at the Wharf, like East Street Music Hall, Union Stage, Pearl Street Warehouse, Black Cat, Songbird, pretty much everywhere.
Leela's a PG County girl, though, so
Yeah.
So shouts out PG County.
Born and raised.
Shout out to PG County. And what about other guys in the band? Are you in DC? Are you spread out? Where are we?
The other 2 guys are actually out in Easton.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is so that's Eastern Shore, Easton. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And what about you guys?
We're all in the Annapolis area.
Ah,
so,
yeah, absolutely.
But DC, we like DC.
Of course. Very much. And so now talk about your earliest memory with music for each of you guys. Let's start on this end. What's your earliest memory with music?
Oh, me? Oh, probably just listening to Queen, like the greatest hits of Queen when I was like really young. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is the
Yeah.
greatest hit
Oh,
that
the
comes to
greatest hit.
mind?
I think my favorite one when I was a kid was Killer Queen. I don't know why, I just
Queen.
like that song a lot.
There it is.
Great
And if you
song.
don't know Killer Queen, now's your music trivia chance to go check out that song wherever you check out your music. I like it. Leila, what's your earliest memory with music?
Definitely being in the car with my dad when we're driving around. If he was like doing will calls or something in DC, I'd ride along with him and he would show me classic Yes. And we would listen to Roundabout and he would make me listen to different time signatures and try and figure them out. So he was definitely a huge musical influence to me and definitely challenged me.
Very good. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah,
That's
he's the best.
All
He's
right.
awesome, yeah.
And what about you?
In kindergarten, we actually had to like make little guitars out of tissue boxes and stuff. I don't know if you guys had to do that
so
project,
Wow.
but I got really into it, and I was like, I said to my teacher and to the class, I was like, we should start a band. So then we all practiced for assembly and like led songs. So that was my
with,
first.
with tissue box guitars.
Yeah,
string?
we had tissue boxes and like little drums we made and stuff. It was cool.
What? That was kindergarten, you said?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Props to that kindergarten teacher, whoever
Miss
she was
Filkin.
for
Miss Filkin.
Miss Filkin, wherever
Shouts out,
you
Miss
are.
Filkin.
Thank you so much for like just embracing the class creativity.
I
'cause
actually
that's,
got to tell her last year. I was like,
gee.
"You set the course of my life."
Oh.
Yeah, so that was cool.
that is man, that is awesome. I like that. Holy smokes. All right, now what about performing then? So when did it you got these early memories. So now when did it become performing music for each of you? Start down here. Go ahead.
Ooh. I lived in Gainesville, Florida for a long time. I'm not from there, but
Now
I
Gainesville,
lived there.
Florida is known for the University of
It
Florida,
is,
the
yeah.
Gators. Is that
That's
you?
right. No, I had no relation to that.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. You
We
just
do
love
love
Gainesville.
Gatorade. Yeah.
Go Florida.
I moved there for the Gatorade.
The
pretty
Gatorade.
much, and you know, they had a really big like punk scene, a big ska scene. They still do. You know, the Fest is something that happens every year there, which is very cool. And but so doing those like ska shows and going to those all ages shows and being like, I remember thinking I was really into like indie rock and stuff, and I'd just come from a different city, and I was like, what do you guys all listen to? And they were like, well, we like ska music, and I was like, oh no, I'm in the wrong place now.
Oh, that's funny. And all right, so now what about you?
Well, my mom and dad have always been super, super supportive of anything musical that I wanted to do. So shout out to you, mom and dad. But I wanted to play piano at a super young age, so they put me in classical piano lessons. And then shortly after, I was in classical voice lessons. So I've just been doing recitals and competitions from a very early age. So it's always been quite formal for me. So now this is when I get to have the fun, is when I'm on stage with the band.
Wow. Okay. Very good. And what about you?
Same. My parents were very supportive, but I got to go to a Candlebox concert. I was a big fan of them, and I was the youngest person in the audience by far, singing every line in the front row. And Kevin from Candlebox like handed me the microphone for a song, and I sang it. And then the crowd just mobbed me when we were done. And I was like, "This is what I want to be doing.
Nice.
That's what I want to be doing."
I want to get mobbed. I want it to happen. Oh God, that's so good. All right, so now talk about it on the personal side. Outside of this whole music thing, what else do you do besides music in your free time?
Oh man,
Go ahead, James.
we don't really do much of anything other than that. Just work and try to make ends meet so that we can do the music. Pretty much. That's kind of what
I
we
got
do.
that. Well, you got to give me something else. What else?
Oh, man. You know, I do enjoy a spot of gardening. Maybe a bit. Sometimes I knit. You know, on a Sunday, my blouse is open. A tub of Häagen-Dazs, and then every now and then I like a good knife fight as well. You know, I go to the big city and find somebody to just harass.
I love it.
Yeah.
You're making up the life you dreamed of having.
No, this is
good.
real. This is real, Brian.
Open blouses and ice cream and knife fights. This is your
It's
life.
on
is
Instagram, Brian.
It's a Mrs. Doubtfire. It's a Mrs. Doubtfire action movie right here. That's what
No,
this
the blouses
is.
are
Dreaming
in
Again
now.
is about.
Nails and blouses, that's in now.
Oh my God, so good. All right, what about you, Leila?
What was the question again? Sorry.
Outside of your personal life, outside of work, outside of music, what do you do?
Not much, man. I'm a music instructor, so I teach music when I'm not playing music. I have 2 cats, so I spend a lot of time hanging with my cats, and that's about it.
Wow. Okay. There's cats and music. Very good.
Shouts out to the cats.
There it is. What are their names?
Maui and Lulu
And how long have you had them?
for 3.5 years or something. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Very good. And what about you down here? What do we got?
I do some humanitarian work, and I'm a hockey fan. I go to a lot of hockey games.
Nice.
Collect
And
a lot
now
of
is
hockey
that
jerseys.
Capitals hockey or just
No,
hockey in
actually,
general? What are we talking?
I'm a Ducks fan.
Oh, there it is.
I don't
Okay.
know. In the 90s, the Baltimore team was the Bandits, and they fed the Ducks.
Oh, there we go. So you were a Bandits fan.
Not really, but I
Okay.
just that's my excuse. Yeah, I like the Ducks a lot.
I got it. All right. So the Ducks. It's an indirect to the Ducks. I like it. All right. Now, what
Sorry,
about
DC.
funniest moment on stage? What comes to mind?
Okay, there was a couple shows ago where we were playing at Gypsy Sally's, and it was a super fun gig that we did with our friends Novo. But I don't really know what happened if we all could not hear ourselves. But Tom over here was like a beat late on like this song that we've been playing for forever, and instead of like following James, who's the only one doing it right, we all just decided to slow down gradually and follow Tom. And then we listened to it back later and we were like, what were we actually doing?
And they all blame me. Right? They all followed Tom
I
because
blamed
I thought
Jordan.
Tom was right.
I blamed
And then-
Jordan.
And they were
just
like,
to be
James, you
clear.
messed it up. And then I was right. I was actually correct, and you were all wrong.
Oh my God.
Sorry,
I want to make that
James.
public on the radio so
This
everybody
is
knows.
what you didn't know about bands is behind the scenes. Then they start like, it was you. No, I think it was you. No, it
It
was
was an official statement.
Oh, it's so good. And what about biggest success moment for the band so far? What comes to mind?
There's been a few. So one of my favorite bands of all time is the Reina Kindo, who I've been a fan of since I was 16. And last March, we were able to open for them and another band called Little Tybee, who were super, super cool.
Wow.
But now they're our friends, and we actually just played a house show with Kindo at my parents' house earlier this month, and that was the coolest thing ever. And we packed out. I think we released 40 tickets and sold, and then released a couple more, and we had 44 people there in my parents' house, which it was packed out. It was pretty awesome.
Nice.
It was
Oh
awesome.
my God. Mom and Dad's house.
I know.
I like it. Oh God. It's so good. Now, what about a time you tried and failed? What comes to mind?
Oh man, so many times. It's a lot of times. You know, I don't think we've ever had something where it's been really, you know, we've been down in the dumps about it. I think we've, you know, I don't want to step on anyone's toes, but we played The Pinch. That was the first show we've ever played, and that was sort of one of those kind of, you know, like what are we doing here, gang? Why did we? And I'm not trying to, you know,
Well, no,
Mm-hmm.
be mean or
like,
anything.
That was, you know, that was our first gig ever, and just like, you know, seeing where kind of we started in DC up to like where we're playing like Union Stage and U Street Music Hall and stuff now is pretty awesome. So, you know, it's all about just patience and making
You
sure
gotta-
that we're getting
you
our
get your
efforts.
start. Yeah, absolutely. And
Yep.
then you definitely look back on some of those venues and you're like, given the choice, I'm not sure I would play there again.
Yeah.
Because
There's quite a few of those.
Well, yeah, and like I mean, as far as trying and failing, we played a couple shows ago, Gypsy Sally's with our friends Novo, and we started this song, and I actually started it a beat late.
Oh,
Yeah. I
oh,
don't know-
excellent.
Don't know if you heard that one, but that was
So
kind of a
nice,
try
yeah.
and fail.
it was a big one.
We tried a song and failed.
Yeah.
that one time. Yep. It was that guy. They
got-
all pointed at you, and you couldn't get out of it
None
that
of them
time.
pointed at me, and it was totally my fault. I felt bad, you know, for that too.
We're
awesome.
perfectionists.
What about? All right. So, what do you have in your music collection that might surprise us?
I listen to a lot of musical theater. Yeah, love musicals. Sometimes like some opera.
Be specific.
Oh, I mean classics. Wicked and Phantom of the Opera. You know, all the good ones. Les Mis.
Nice.
I
Oh.
teach a lot of those as well to like my students whenever.
Got it.
Never
And
seen
when
them.
you say teach your students for, is it vocal? What do you teach?
Yeah, I teach voice and piano and guitar.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And you teach musicals.
Well, no, I teach Broadway tunes.
Excellent. Whatever the kids like, I guess. As a
Hey.
teacher, it's like whatever they're into, it makes it a little easier to teach it, I would imagine. All right. What about you?
Oh man,
James?
I imagine. I don't know what would be surprising, but a lot of stoner metal for me, like a lot of like sort of really heavy, down-tuned stuff. You know, like Electric Wizard, I Hate God, that kind of stuff. Bong Ripper, Weed Eater, those bands.
Okay. And I don't recognize some of those, so I'm
They're
gonna have to.
legitimate
I'm,
bands.
I'm gonna have to go
That's a-
check this
that's
out
a- yeah.
later. This isn't a
That's a
Mrs.
real
Doubtfire
thing.
reference.
No,
this is a
this
thing.
is-
Okay.
It's legit.
Stoner metal is basically where you make you know, weed puns and you sound like Black Sabbath, and that's about it. And that's what you have to do
I
do
feel like
that.
even slower than Black Sabbath, though.
Yeah, you have to just slow Black Sabbath and just make a joke about weed, I think, is pretty much the rules.
That's amazing. I love it. All right. And what more? Tell us, what do you have in your music collection that might surprise us?
I listen to some like doomy drone metal stuff too, like Sun.
Oh, yeah.
I think that surprises people. But also on the other end of the spectrum, I have a lot of traditional Hawaiian on vinyl.
Really?
There's this radio DJ Webley Edwards who
Okay.
put together just like the coolest compilations of just Hawaiian steel based music and traditional songs.
That's awesome. I like that. All right, I got my homework now for this. This is fun. All right. And then, all right. So now my favorite question to ask, and I have to ask this one, and this is for each of you going down the line. What's one piece of advice you would, if you could offer one piece of advice, what would it be? James, go ahead, man.
I'll just say email everybody, don't be afraid to reach out and, it's like a numbers game. If you're just starting out with a band, just get it out there and just keep, or plug everything pretty much. That's what I'd say.
Okay. Don't stop promoting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Journey says don't stop believing.
Hey.
And in this case, it's don't stop promoting.
Don't stop.
Yeah. All right. Layla, what about you?
I would just say to be patient for sure, but also what James said, don't be afraid to bug people. Like if you think you're going to annoy somebody by, showing them your band 2 million times or trying to get that show, do it because you never know what time that's going to work.
Yeah.
So yeah, just
Absolutely.
be patient and keep grinding.
There you go. And one more. Tell us.
I'd
One
say-
more piece of advice.
Come prepared. Something's always going to go wrong. So if you have a car that has like a cajon and a bass
Oh my
and
gosh, yeah.
amps in it, that's going to help you.
His car has everything in it at all times. Like there's always a
But we're
guitar
not
and a
telling you
bass
where
amp.
it's parked.
And it has an alarm.
No, every
Don't
kind
go
of
in there.
instrument ever.
Yeah, yeah.
Though. We're always
You're always prepared with a
he's
backup.
always prepared.
I've got a
Yep.
Darth Vader decal on the side too. So like,
All right,
be
so we're not
prepared to
telling you where
face
it's parked,
the Lord of the
but
Sith
But
if
we're not telling you
if
not
try
to
steal-
look for it.
there is a Darth Vader decal. Oh, that's funny. I like it. And all right, and if they want to find out more about Del Florida and the stuff you have going on, tell them where to go.
We've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All of that is the handle at Del Florida Baby. And then we've got our website, delflorida.com. And there you can find photos and all of our touring dates and a little bit more about ourselves.
Very good. So check out more from Del Florida. Now, one of the things when you're a guest on the show, you have to bring great music with you. And let's get back into some music because we've been talking for a little bit. So let's do that. What do you have for us first?
Oh, first we have Ginger Wolf with the song Red Bracelets.
DC Music rocks. Tune in, jam on, rock out.
That's Ginger Wolf, and the track is Red Bracelets. And boy, talk about like movements. And the name of the album is In Pizza We Crust. So there's that. Clearly, there's some pizza love going on there. So guys, talk about. I mean, I'm a Ginger. That was the musicality was just. Whew, there's a lot of movements and a lot of feeling in that song. I kind of dug it. Talk about Ginger Wolf.
I could do that. I'm actually an expert on the subject.
Ooh, gee, why would that be? Tell him.
He's me.
You're Ginger Wolf?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. He's got this beard and there's kind of like a wolf thing going on.
Yeah, Ginger
a
Wolf's
in
beard is
sheep's
actually
clothing.
longer than the one I have, but
Nice.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, the drummer on that track is actually he's pretty busy around the DC scene, Marcus Turner. So
In other
love
bands
him.
around the scene.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
So talk about Ginger Wolf. When did that start? What's the story?
It started in 1988, November 16th, 1988. That's my birthday. And
So from the womb,
yeah.
you've been a Ginger
Well,
Wolf.
and I told you the kindergarten story, so you know it kind of started.
Right,
That,
okay.
that was the first show. That was the first
Okay.
Ginger Wolf show. I think that was 1994. So it's been going a while, and the Hawaiian albums that I collected definitely influence it. There's a lot of Hawaiian steel. That was the primary instrument on that track, and the rhythm section that I'm playing with now is they were both in Def Scene, which is a really great.
They're incredible.
Yeah, they're a great band from Baltimore. So it's been an honor to play with them. Eric Courtney is playing bass with us, and he was not on this album. And then Rory Brennan played a lot of the drums on the other tracks. He's the drummer.
So in the music we just heard, then it's you and three other pieces.
Actually, there's drums, bass, keys, trumpet, cello, steel guitar.
And you do the composition,
Yeah.
and then it comes together as a band, or do you bring the riffs to the band and then the band adds on the other layers?
Well, since bringing Rory and Eric on, it's been a little more collaborative. But for that album, I pretty much wrote every part anybody played.
Nice. Wow, man. That's very good. And how many songs are on that album?
8.
All right. So it's a lot more opportunities for Ginger Wolf. Great for while you're working, or if you need music while like something instrumental where you don't have to think about it, you can just enjoy it. I was enjoying Ginger Wolf while I was working this week. So that was very good. This is the song that this is another artist that I've never shared with you that I'm excited to share with you. This is called Alto's World, and the track is No Labels. That's off their album Feminine Waves.
DC Music rocks.
Last night I dreamt of you. You lay next to me on my pillow too. I always wanted to be with you, but you seem so far but so near. Yeah, always wanted the best for you. And I know you want the same for me too. I never thought I'd see this way, but I love you. Won't you tell me, baby, you love me too? It's all I'm asking for. It's all I ever want. It's all I ever need. Just be with me. But I love you. Won't you tell me, baby, you love me too? It's all I'm asking for. It's all I ever want. It's all I ever need. Just be with me. It's all I'm asking for. It's all I ever want. It's all I ever need. Just be with me. How long will this last? This passion that past. Some years ago, when I saw something I hadn't seen in me. So my love, it seemed to stick with. But I still love you. Won't you tell me, baby, you love me too? It's all I'm asking for. It's all I ever want. It's all I ever need. Just be with me. Come back to me.
That is Alto's World, and the track is No Labels, and that's off the album Feminine Waves. See, here's the thing about Alto's World. There's a couple things. One, people would compare her music to the band The Interrent, but her voice sounds like Toni Braxton, Anita Baker, HER, and Brandy.
They definitely meant the
The
internet.
internet for
The
sure.
internet?
Yeah,
There
that's
it
definitely
is.
the
Great band.
internet.
The Internet.
Yeah.
We're starting
Yes.
a band called The Internet now.
Yeah.
The Internet, there it is, a knockoff. It's so good. Darn typos, get you every time. But no, but I mean, definitely the sweet sounds, because, so the story behind the name, it's Alto's World. If you look it up in whatever platform you look up your music. And alto, there aren't very many female singers that are praised in the music industry for having deeper voices. So the last megastar with alto voices were and are like Toni Braxton or Anita Baker and just a few others. So her goal is to show the world that altos can be classically trained musicians like she is and sound just as beautiful and sultry as any other artist. So hence the name Alto's World. And alto, she's vocalist, lyricist, and song arranger. She puts them together, and then of course she has the backup of a great band. And she's from Uptown DC near Petworth. And so much, oh man, she is just high on life all the time. And there's so much more. Check out the album, by the way. The album Feminine Waves, she checked it out there. So if you like those other artists, female artists we were just talking about, there's more from her. So you can check out her profile in the DC Artist Database, click on her name in the episode notes, and check out more from her. Now, we've got one more song, but before we do, I want to wrap. And first, I want to say thanks. Del Florida, thank you guys for coming on the show and being here. Here's what I love. I love the music, first and foremost.
Thank
oh my
you.
goodness. Oh man, hold on. It was not Dreamin' Again. The one that I listened to over and over again was Fire, the live song. Oh my gosh. Over and over again. So if you check
Thank
out their
you.
collection, that song, oh man, that was the one that was on when I got my top 100 most listened to songs for the year from Spotify, that one was on there. Cause it was
Oh,
thank you.
oh
thank
my
you.
goodness, it was good.
That's awesome.
So I love the music and I love what you guys are doing, and make it happen and keep going. And all the pieces, the way the music comes together, I'm a fan. So thank you guys so much for coming down and being guests on the show. And you had said there were some shows coming up. Tell them one more time. What are the shows that you're stoked about coming up in the DC area?
Next Wednesday at U Street Music Hall, we're supporting.
What date is that?
Ripe,
Wednesday?
February
6th.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're supporting which one?
Ripe.
Nice.
Ripe
Okay.
are
And what else?
awesome.
We got March 3rd at Metropolitan in Annapolis, and it's actually with James's band, Teen Mortgage,
And Del
Nice.
Florida, yeah.
and Del Florida. Yeah.
Very good.
And then March
Okay.
15th, we're playing at Finart in Annapolis with Ginger Wolf.
Nice. Which is that band we just heard.
Yeah.
Which is also you.
Yeah, it's me.
There it is. Ginger
very
Wolf.
fun.
You get to meet the wolf himself.
meta.
Hey.
And the bassist of Del Florida all in one night. Yeah, and then we'll be back here in DC at Penn,
At
April
Penn
5th
Social.
at Penn Social.
There
April
it is. April 5th. You got it. All right. So lots of opportunities to hear Del Florida coming up. Check out one of those.
Definitely.
And listeners, I play drums for the DC rock band Fellowcraft. And since I am a DC musician, I consider it such a treat to share these guests like Del Florida and this great music from right here in DC with you each week. Remember, we have resources for you too. On DCMusicRocks.com, you have access to a DC artist database of more than 400 DC region artists, so we can help you find more music that you'll love. And we have a calendar to help you attend these great shows happening all over the DC area every single day. So the bottom line is, I just want to say thanks. Thanks for following DC's music Thanks for supporting DC's musicians. And most importantly, thanks for listening. Next week, Manny Wells is going to be on the show, a sweet R&B singer. I just heard about him a few months back, and I've been listening so much to his music. So I can't wait to get to know this guy next week. And sneak preview for you guys. That next week will actually be the final episode for a little while of DC Music Rocks. We're going to be taking a little pause from the radio show and the podcast while we work on building out the database and doing a lot more with the website and the blog and stuff. So this is Manny Wells was going to be our last one for a while. So we're stoked about all the stuff happening with DC Music Rocks. We have one more track, and this is Teen Mortgage. And now, boy, talk about a departure from the vibes we have just been listening to. This is hard and in your face, and it's so good. So talk about Teen Mortgage.
So it's a duo that it's me and another guy called Ed. And we actually met on Craigslist, funny enough.
Nice.
I was desperate for a drummer, and he happened to be, looking through Craigslist and kind of like gawking, kind of way, like, look at these weirdos trying to find people to play with. And then he was like, oh, I like this. And then, so now we're a band. And,
Nice. All right, so Teen Mortgage is a duo, and what is the name? Where does that come from?
Oh, the name actually comes from, there's a deeper meaning to it. It comes from, there's an arts installation in Banksy's Dismaland, which was kind of a parody of Disneyland, and I think his name was Damien something or other, but he did a piece where it's called pocket money loans, which is in England means your allowance over here, so for children.
Nice.
And the point of it was to illustrate the how they make the advertising look innocent for insurance companies and things like that. And so it's kind of the joke, and also that there's a big the housing bubble is a big thing, and so that's kind of the joke there, is you might get launched into a teen mortgage, trying to make your way.
Okay, yeah, make it through and so wow, very good. And how would you describe Teen Mortgage if people ask you about it?
I'd say it's really fuzzy, very abrasive. It's kind of it's primal. It's something that it makes you want to drink a beer and bang your head, kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rock and roll.
Get in. That's it. Rock hard. And we're going to do it now. So this is last track of the day. This is Teen Mortgage. And the track is, and the story about, this is it? The story behind this song?
That's a good one, man. I don't know. It's kind of just one of those songs where you kind of putting words together out of gibberish just because they sound good, and just asking the question, is it though? Is it?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, let's find out. Is it?
It's deep.
DC Music Rocks.
This is my fault if I don't care, but there's no fair. Yeah,
Thank you so much for listening to DC Music Rocks. Useful links and information about this episode can be found on the website dcmusicrocks.com. Tune in, jam on, rock out.